This segment is all about the value journey of your business. Welcome to the program. I'm Mark Imperial, and joining me on this segment is best-selling author Jayne McQuillan with her new title, The Value Journey, that just recently topped the Amazon charts at #1 in 3 different business categories. Jayne, congratulations and welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Mark. It's been, as I can coin, quite a journey to get to this point, but it's very exciting that it's all come together, and I think we're extremely pleased with how it all turned out, and excited about the value it can provide to business owners moving forward.
Jayne, who did you write this book for, and what was your inspiration?
Yeah, so really, my goal in writing this book was to really provide a resource to help educate business owners, whether they're looking to build value in their business and they're new in that business, or they're ready to transition and exit. Our goal is to really help them get to a point that they can monetize this business at some point in the future, and why it's important to start planning early. And by doing so, they can have many more options to exit, and do so on their own terms. So again, the goal was really to educate the business owners and give them information that for most, it's not even on their radar.
Terrific. In your book, you have a chapter titled It's Just Good Business Strategy.
Yeah.
Now, can you talk a little bit about that? Is this around exit planning, and are there myths or misconceptions around the concept of exit planning?
Yeah, there really is. Most business owners, when I meet with them, they'll say, well, I'm not ready to exit. I'll get in touch when I'm ready to exit the business. And so the concept of exiting is all about, in most business owners' minds, selling. But really positioning your business and creating value is really around that chapter of It's Just Good Business Strategy. Whether you're a startup, whether you've been in business 10, 20, or 30 years, or you're looking to exit the business, the reality is you just need to focus on building a valuable business. And that takes strategy, it takes execution, and it takes diligence to stay focused on really those value drivers that a buyer at some point in the future, whether it even be a family member, management, or an external buyer, values when it comes time to exit. And I think the other key piece of that is when they focus on again, just that building a valuable business and focusing on that strategy, is that they can benefit from the business while they're still running the business. It's not all about just maximizing the dollars upon exit. It's also maximizing those dollars while they're still the business owner and really can benefit from that.
Great insight. Jayne, if I was to ask you, what is your favorite chapter of your book? What would that be? Tell us about it.
Yeah, I have honestly several, which I'm assuming you can understand in writing it. But honestly, one of my favorite chapters is our last chapter called Journey Forward. When I meet with business owners, they talk about exiting the business, and we focus heavily, obviously, on the business and getting that business ready for an exit at some point in the future. But what they don't spend much time on is really thinking or planning for what's next. Preparing really for that life after, and it takes as much work, and then sometimes I'll call it more work, to plan for what's next than it does to get their businesses ready at times. In fact, statistically, 3 out of 4 business owners, within 12 months of selling their business, profoundly regret selling their business. And it's not because they didn't get enough money for the business or that process didn't go well. The fact is that they haven't planned, and they have this huge void because they don't know what they're going to do next. I mean, their business has been their life, and defining what's going to fill that void and what's going to provide them purpose takes practice in doing so before they exit. And kind of using a metaphor, you don't really want to jump off a cliff. But it'd be much better if you used, a glider to create a soft landing. And this really is what a successful next chapter should look like. And I think one of the things that this book does is help business owners, and specifically that chapter, understand that, that journey forward and practicing that can still happen while they're owning and running a business. Because if they create a valuable business, they've got a team in place, and they can have time to, start exploring what that next chapter looks like, so that when they do exit, they're looking forward to it, not necessarily, I'll call it moving away from, or, from a burned out situation, but really looking forward to what that next chapter can provide for them. And obviously what that business has been able to monetize to support them in their retirement. So it's kind of an exciting chapter for me because I don't see it as an end. I see it as a beginning.
Jayne, take us back a little bit and let us know, what was your inspiration or what inspired you to get into this line of work at all? Tell us about
Yeah.
that.
So, like most people, I think, I don't have a straight line career path. So, being a CPA by education, I've had the opportunity. I started in public accounting and I worked a lot with family owned and privately held businesses through that experience, as well as was an executive in both privately held and family owned business. And then worked doing some organizational development consulting for a period of time. And I learned through all of that I have a significant passion, not just for business, but for people. And it's really driven me into this, I'll call it niche, really, of helping business owners plan for and exit their business. And I want to help business owners fulfill their dreams. By starting a business, you take on a great responsibility. And I think business owners see that while they're running the business. They care for their employees and they want to make sure that they're, not having to lay people off and they're building value and giving them opportunities. But I also want to make sure that business owners are successful in exiting that business and the continuity of that. And their responsibility extends beyond them running the business. It really does extend to them ensuring that they have a successful exit, not only for their families, but for their employees, their customers, vendors, and their communities. And for me, it's more than just a job. It's a passion. And seeing those successful exits, of which we've helped many, is just extremely rewarding. And it just the impacts that has are far-reaching. For me, it's a mission-driven business.
Jayne, before I ask you my last question, in regard to the value journey, is there anything that I didn't think to ask you that you feel is really important to share with business owners listening today?
Yeah, I think probably the biggest thing is it's just a resource. And the intent of writing it was to create a resource for business owners to start creating that value journey if they haven't stepped on that train, but also to reap the rewards of the business again while they're still in the business and position themselves with options. I think the biggest thing with this is to understand that there's no one way to exit the business. There are many options, and you should be running parallel paths to do that. And I think, as the saying goes, begin with the end in mind and know that may change along the way. And hopefully this book will help people to see that and start them on that journey.
Sage advice. So the book is titled The Value Journey: How to Drive Profits, Build Wealth, and Exit Your Business on Your Own Terms. So Jayne, for business owners and folks listening right now who would love to get a copy of the book and perhaps connect with you, how can they find you, connect with you, and get more information?
Yeah, absolutely. For sure, they can connect through our website at journeyconsult.com. And they can reach out to us through that website. They can also access a copy of our book through that website, or they can go to amazon.com, The Value Journey: How to Drive Profits, Build Wealth, and Exit Your Business on Your Own Terms. So yeah, multiple ways to reach us, and I really look forward to hearing from them.
Jayne, this has been terrific. I really appreciate you taking the time to share with my audience today. Congratulations once again on a #1 best-selling book. And I wish you continued success for you and for all of your clients.
Thanks so much, Mark. It's been a pleasure, and appreciate all your help in getting there.
That was Jayne McQuillan, best-selling author of The Value Journey. That's all for now. I'm Mark Imperial, and thanks for joining me.